And now we want to know more about this thread lift. Therefore, we already connected with Dermatovenereologist Dr. Kardiana Dewi to explore the recent beauty trend of thread lift. Hi, good evening, doctor. How are you? There you are. She is there right now.
Hello, good evening. I am very good.
Great to hear that. So we just want to chat about thread lift, and we heard that this is one of the ways where women can actually try to have better, how do you call it? Better skin tightness rather than having a full facelift, right? So can you explain what thread lift is, and what is your opinion about this trend, which has become popular also here in Indonesia?
All right. Basically, thread lifting is a procedure where we use dissolvable sutures to the skin in order to make the skin look tighter and more firm.
Right. Okay.
So this procedure is quite short. So you can just do the procedure in less than 30 minutes. So that's why it's easier for people to do it instead of on surgery. So people love it here right now, in Indonesia especially as well.
So which parts of the face are actually can be done with this thread lifting?
So actually all of the area of our body can be do the thread lift, but mostly we do it on the face, but we have also limitations. Let me tell you how the thread lift works.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, so this one, so I'm gonna show you guys how the thread lift works. So this is the surface of the skin. So if we make a cross sections, we can see that there are 3 layers of the skin. So this is the upper part, the epidermal, and this is the dermis, this is the subcutaneous layer which contain of fat, the one that we don't like mostly.
Yep.
But it has also a function. So this, the second layer, the dermal, is the one who's most responsible for the skin tightness and firmness. It contains connective tissues, and then also hyaluronic acid, collagen, elastin, and everything. So during aging process, all of this is not as firm as before.
Right.
So that's why we need to make it more tight and more firm in many ways. One of the way that we thought it's easier is by putting the thread or the suture. So let's imagine this is the suture, like this is the thread, right? So we try to make the suture goes this here on the second layer on the dermal in order to make new collagen productions.
All right.
So we hope that our face is gonna be more tight, more firm, and give more young look.
Right.
That's why people love it.
How does the thread itself can produce the collagen after it penetrates to the second layer of the skin?
All right. So basically, our body normally react to something that we put from outside. In this moment, this one is the thread. So if we put the thread on this layer, so there are first inflammatory process that make the skin like a bit tight and firm, and you can see and feel it immediate after the thread goes in. Yeah, you feel a bit, sometimes a bit pain. Maybe you use the anesthetic creams. We can use anesthetic topicals, and then we can use the injections as well. And then we put the thread inside on the dermal layer. Then after that, we want to induce more collagen productions by doing the inflammatory process. So of course, right after the thread lifting, you can see that your face is very tight and very, very firm right immediately after. But you can see that the skin is getting better after 2 weeks and 1 month after.
And how long does it take for the thread lift to work? I mean, you see, you just told us that there is a certain time until you have to wait to make it the results to appear in its best form. But how long can it last? Do we have to do it again, like after quite some time?
Of course. There is no lifting procedures that last forever.
Right.
Even the facelift will not last forever, right? Yeah. So this thing is in a short period, like we call it lunchtime lift. So of course the results, yeah, we only expect for 1 until 2 years. While maybe in a certain period when you do a good facelift, it can last longer, so much longer. Sometimes it can last for a decade. But for this kind of facelifting, the one that use the thread, normally it lasts like for 1 until 2 years only.
So my question is, you mentioned before briefly that the threads now are dissolvable. Is that true? Or and aside from
Yes,
the benefits,
dissolvable.
So what are the potential risks and side effects of thread lifting, and how long until it actually dissolves? When it dissolves under your skin, does the effect also reverse or ends that you have to redo the thread lifting?
Yeah. So let me show you let me tell you one interesting fact about this thread. So since like we want to make this induce more collagen, the more specific the type of the suture will increase more collagen productions. So sometimes the thread is not only firm and soft like this, it contains like barbs. We call it barbs or cocks. So it has like a small horn like this. So we hope that whenever we put it here and then we'll lift it up, so it will make the face tight and goes up, and of course increase collagen. Since we use suture and then needles, of course, there's the risk of infections, infections, and then sometimes if the procedure sometimes not too good, that we can see that some part thread can extrude outside, and if sometimes the doctors do it like too superficial, you can see a dimple sign, and sometimes, of course, like hematoma. Hematoma is like a bump, right? It's like you bump to something. So you can see hematoma, but mostly those complications will not last for too long. So, of course, you have to tell the doctors after you get the procedures, but mostly it would last like 1 until 2 weeks. But the one with the complications that worse, such as like infections or the extrudes of the threads or the dimple sign, you need to go to the doctor to get more treatment to resolve that.
Okay. Now, that it is it's not a big secret that people are actually coming to this trend to have dimples on their faces, right? So it actually color.
Oh yeah. Here, right?
Right. Yes. Now, doctor, we want to know more about this procedure. So if a patient comes to you and then he or she wants to have this kind of procedure, and then he or she will need to undergo anesthesia, obviously, before the procedure itself. Now, is it going to be like a local anesthesia? Yeah. And after, all things are done after that, so the patient will still feel in pain or not after the anesthesia wears off?
All right, interesting. So ladies, you don't have to be afraid. Like we can use double anesthesia first. And normally we will put the topical anesthesia using creams, so you feel numb on top of the stairs. But now it depends on the type of the threads that we want to use. If the threads is very big and have a lot of cough, normally it's more traumatized, but we said that it induces more collagen and then a bit more pain. So after the topical anesthesia, we can do double with the injections of the anesthesia as well on that area, the area that we want to put. Then after that, we do it. If the procedures, like we use quite a lot of threads, and then the big threads, the one that I told you with big cock, so it's gonna be more pain. So after the procedures, you're gonna feel pain a bit, only like for a few days maybe. Then after that, it will gone.
It will be gone. It's interesting. I mean, some of my friends do this procedure just because it's not about the sagginess. It's about some chubbiness on the area of the face. So they want to just make it shrink a little bit. My question is, doctor, do you need extra therapies after having this thread lifts? Maybe a Botox or some Juvederm, or I mean anything else? Do we need that, or is this enough?
So All right, so different indications. Can I show you with a more mannequin?
Sure.
Of course.
So I bring this pretty lady. It's called,
Yeah.
the name is Ratna. This
doesn't
amazing
need
lady.
Travis.
For example, like this. All right. So she doesn't need this,
She
right?
doesn't
because
need,
she is
yeah.
still very firm and everything. Yes.
Yeah.
But then again, and in which indication we need the thread lift, if we can see the sagginess here and we see many wrinkles in the surface of the skin, we can also do the thread lift.
All right.
But again, do not have over expectations with the thread lifting, because not all problems can be done by the thread lift.
All right.
Like, for example, never ever think that, okay, I'm gonna put it here, so I'm gonna pull everything behind and it will not come back. Of course, it won't work that way.
Yeah.
Why? Because our skin, especially on our face, keep moving. So we cannot just like pull something up and then make them stay like that unless you do the facial surgery, because you stitch it here, right?
Ah.
So can you imagine if you put too many threads? Of course, it won't work. Like, do not expect that the more threads is gonna be more and everything.
Right, yeah.
Of course, it doesn't work that way. But there are different types of sutures. So, for example, like the one that you asked before, if you want to make this one tighter, then you can use, right? But some lady, for example, me, I got this one. My muscle is quite big, so I did Botox on my muscle here to make it more V shape like this,
Right.
right? So if you want to do another indications, then sometimes you need more and different treatment. Like Botox, it works for the muscles. So whenever you do Botox, normally we do here. Like this, I cannot do my wrinkles anymore. I cannot do this because I cannot do this as well because I already got Botox. I'm also the 40 above club. I heard you guys before. Like, so life begin at 40, right?
Yes.
So I did the Botox thing. So to make this one is more like more shiny and then more clean. So I did Botox here for the muscle we call it dynamic wrinkles. And we also can do it here to make the muscle even more relaxed, so it's not gonna be too bulky and too big. For this tightness of the thread lift, we do it in order to make the skin that is already a bit or loose more firm. And of course, different type of skin need different type of threads and different types of treatment as well.
Well, this is the curiosity, this is the elephant in the room, last but not least. How much is the price range of a thread lifting treatment?
All right. So since like the range is so big, so we can see like the range is more so far because it depends on the type of the threads. Normally they cost like per threads. Since it starts, I guess, like from around 100,000 rupiah per threads until like 2 million per thread. So the range are so big. It depends on the type of the thread and the quality of the thread as well.
So just out of curiosity,
And of course, if you want to put it on your face, yes.
For one cycle
Sorry?
of treatment, let's just say for a treatment of lifting the cheek, the skin around the cheekbone area, right? How many threads would you usually need?
Yeah. Normally, if we use the big thread, then we use like 3 for upper area and 2 for lower area. So this 3 and 2 become 5, and 2 sides become 10.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's certainly something to consider, but Doc, thank you.
3, 2, 5, 5.
Yeah, literally like the fingers.
Now I'm going to jump in here a little bit.
Yes.
You did mention about, you did ask about numbers.
Right.
I'm going to ask about numbers too, but it's in the range of age now, doctor. Okay. What is the most convenient age that you will actually consider for a patient to come to you and do this kind of procedure for the, what do you call that?
Thread
lifting.
Yes. Of course, it depends on the indications. Like if they start at 20s,
Wow.
but because whenever it's already very saggy, you cannot do much.
Right.
It's gonna go back immediately. So like the earlier is better, but since first thing first, you have to go to the doctor to analyze that, oh, your skin needs this one. Normally, in the 20, if they want to do the thread lift to make it like more tight and more V-shaped, but according to me, if you don't want to put any thread lift inside your face and under your skin, then you can do another treatment, the one that with machine that can make your skin more firm, and you can reduce the fat and then make the muscles go. That it's good better.
The skin ironing.
the
you say.
hype?
I don't know the name. but
Yeah, okay.
Interesting to try.
Well, certainly interesting. I'll consider the non-thread one for now.
Because you're still 20, right, Kai?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still 20. Yeah.
That's okay.
Also 20 plus.
We are 21.
Yes,
So,
yes. But doctor, thank you so much. Though before we conclude our talk, I have a little game for you. So we need your expert opinion.
All right.
It's a clear myth or fact, and my
Okay.
colleagues here will have to guess first whether the statement is a myth or fact.
Okay,
and then
so we're
you
gonna
will
guess.
enlighten us whether
All right.
it's a myth or fact.
Okay.
Are you ready?
All right.
Yes.
Yes. So
This is between
Yeah.
Rahmas, right?
we have three statements. The first one is
Okay.
thread lift patients have limited facial expressions and suffer from eating difficulties.
Limited
Is that myth
facial.
or fact?
No.
Perhaps
So they both chose myth.
myth. Is that right, doctor?
Yes.
For the
Dr.
facial
Kardiana?
expression, yes,
Both.
but having suffering of difficulties of eating, I don't think so.
So Dr. Kardiana, what do you think?
All right. Actually, it's a fact, but only short term after the treatment.
Only
Like-
short after.
After
So-
the treatment.
So after 2 weeks, yes. Normally after treatment, we always tell the patients, okay, minimize your expressions. Not laughing for too loud, and then not open your mouth for too loud. Do not having heavy exercise.
How
and not
long
like it's
cannot they do that, Dr. Kardiana? How long?
2 weeks.
Oh, dear God.
For 2 weeks
So
only.
after that, they can't, laugh about a joke or
So-
something like that?
Like Rahma.
Yeah,
I know.
like
that's
that.
very
So
funny.
you have to do it like in a proper way.
And the bonus,
Because
is,
like, wait.
the bonus is that
I
you're
wanna-
probably
I wanna
getting
tell you
skinnier too.
Oh, yeah,
So-
that's good.
Yep.
So you put the thread here, right? So you pull it up like this. So you
Yeah.
make an anchor here.
Right.
After you make an anchor, you want it to stay there and make it tight. All right. Why 2 weeks? Because most of the type of the threads can be absorbed after 2 weeks. It starts to getting absorbed and reduce collagen after 2 weeks. So after that, you can move. If it's like less than that, then you already open your mouth very wide, like that, and then it might change the anchor,
Disposition.
right?
Yeah.
So you don't want to make the results less.
Right. So for the patients who had undergone this kind
Don't
of
make any
treatment,
face.
don't make any face.
For 2 weeks.
Eat, chicken porridge.
Don't
for
chew
2 weeks,
anything.
right?
Yeah.
Buburayan.
Yes.
Okay.
All right,
right.
we're on to the
Yeah.
second statement then.
All right.
Thread lifting done when
All
a
right.
person is still young leads to facial skin sagging when they are old.
Oh.
I don't know, but
Wait, Dr.
probably.
Sagging. Oh, I don't know. No.
I
So
don't,
doctor, can you enlighten us?
it depends on the person, right?
Yeah.
All right. Of course, it's a myth. If you do it with in a proper way, not too much, it shouldn't give more sagginess in old
Right.
age. Of course not, unless we don't want to do it, right? It should be. Of course, it should be better. Why? Because during time, it will increase more collagen productions and make your face more firm. But of course, not too much and not using like many types of thread lift at like a random time or most of the time. So it will not make it even worse.
All right. We have one more here. Thread lifting can leave facial
Yes.
scars.
Oh, facial scars.
Myth or fact?
I think
Oh, I no.
Both of them chose myth.
Is that right, doctor? Is it a myth or a fact?
Yeah. Of course, it's a myth because if you do it properly, there is no scars. But again, there are risks of complications, right? If there are complications, the one that we talk like a dimple on the face, on the the extrusions of the thread from upper sides on the skin surface, of course, In that complications, it can lead to scars, but as a normal thing, it won't do any scar.
All right.
Wow.
Interesting.
Well,
There you
Dr.
go.
Kardiana, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for enlightening us about, thread lifting, a trend that is currently happening here in Indonesia as well.
You're very welcome.
Yes,
dear
certainly
pretty
is a new
ladies.
perspective. Thank you, doctor, and see you soon on another topic here on CBS
Yeah.
today.
So threads are not only
All
for
right. Thank you
fabrics.
so much for having me. Bye.
Oh.